The 1995 adaptation of Pride and Prejudice changed television history forever, launching careers and defining a generation. But behind the lace and corsets, life moved on in ways no one expected. Some rose to Hollywood royalty, while others vanished from the spotlight entirely. Join us as we uncover the shocking transformations and heartbreaking stories of the cast. What happened to the actors who brought Jane Austen's world to life? The truth might surprise you. Colin Firth as Fitzwilliam Darcy. Born on September 10, 1960, in Grays, Essex, England, the British actor first captured global attention in the 1995 BBC television adaptation of Jane Austen's classic novel. At the age of 34, Firth's portrayal of the brooding, wealthy, and fiercely proud aristocratic landowner became an immense cultural phenomenon. His performance ignited what the media dubbed Darcy mania worldwide and cemented his status as a quintessential romantic hero. The role's cultural impact was punctuated forever by the legendary and unscripted in the original novel wet shirt scene at Pemberley, which left an indelible mark on television history and redefined the period drama genre. Despite the character's haughty, rigid, and socially awkward demeanor, Colin Firth is known by peers for his warmth, self-deprecating humor, and conversational ease, making him quite the opposite of the famously tight-lipped aristocrat. This sharp contrast meant the role was a massive departure from his own personality, and the miniseries' overwhelming success quickly became a double-edged sword. Firth faced the intense professional hardship of being heavily typecast. For years, he found himself inextricably linked to Mr. Darcy, making it difficult for him to secure diverse roles and escape the towering shadow of the brooding heartthrob. This typecasting was so profound that he ironically ended up playing a modern iteration of the very same character Mark Darcy in the Bridget Jones franchise, initially feeling trapped by the romantic lead mold before he could truly break out. Firth ultimately shattered these professional confines to become one of Britain's most acclaimed and versatile actors, winning an Academy Award for The King's Speech and leading the action-packed Kingsman franchise. In his personal life, he has remained dedicated to various environmental and human rights causes, though he went through a highly publicized separation from his wife of 22 years, Livia Jujoli, in 2019. At the age of 65, he remains a highly respected and active presence in the entertainment industry, continuing to take on complex roles in film and television while enjoying a lasting legacy that stretches far beyond the iconic grounds of Pemberley. Jennifer Ehle as Elizabeth Bennet. Born on December 29, 1969, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the American-British actress crossed the pond to define one of English literature's greatest heroines. At the age of 24, when she was cast in the 1995 adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, Ehle's portrayal of the witty and independent Elizabeth Bennet became an instant cultural touchstone. The miniseries sparked a worldwide Austen mania, and her BAFTA-winning performance provided a definitive, vibrant depiction of the beloved character that continues to resonate with audiences decades later. Despite the character's famously outspoken, vivacious, and extroverted nature, Jennifer Ehle is naturally shy and private in real life, viewing herself as the polar opposite of the fiercely confident Elizabeth. This contrast proved to be a significant hurdle, as the show's colossal success thrust her into an overwhelming, intense media spotlight. Struggling to cope with the sudden tabloid frenzy and the looming threat of being permanently typecast in English period dramas, Ehle found it difficult to navigate mainstream film offers and actively retreated from the Hollywood limelight to find solace on the stage. Her career also saw moments of immense professional compromise and hardship. Most notably, she was originally cast as Catelyn Stark in the HBO juggernaut Game of Thrones and filmed the unaired pilot, but she had to painfully step away from the life-changing role because the grueling multi-season shooting schedule clashed with her need to care for her newborn daughter. Ehle continued to carve out a magnificent career on her own terms, focusing on compelling character roles rather than chasing superstardom. As of 2026, at the age of 56, she is widely celebrated as a highly respected, versatile actress on both stage and screen. living a quiet life in upstate New York with her husband, writer Michael Ryan, and their 2 children, she has successfully cultivated the privacy she always desired. Having gracefully navigated the perilous aftermath of early fame and industry pressures, Ehle remains a deeply revered figure in the acting community. Lucy Davis as Maria Lucas. Born on February 17, 1973 in Solihull, England, Lucy Davis rose to prominence at age 21 as Maria Lucas in the BBC's 1995 adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. Her portrayal of Charlotte Lucas's giggly, naive younger sister perfectly captured the frivolous charm of Jane Austen's supporting characters. Her performance contributed to the enduring success of this production, which remains widely regarded as the definitive screen version of the classic novel. In sharp contrast to her delightfully untroubled character, Davis faced profound personal health battles, including bulimia, diabetes, and a life-threatening kidney transplant in 1997. Professionally, despite her breakout success as Dawn Tinsley in the UK's The Office, she struggled with typecasting and a difficult transition to Hollywood. These hurdles included the cancellation of NBC's Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip and the painful public end of her marriage to actor Owen Yeoman. Davis eventually revitalized her career in America, earning acclaim as Etta Candy in the 2017 blockbuster Wonder Woman and as the beloved Aunt Hilda in Netflix's chilling adventures of Sabrina. Now 53 and residing in Los Angeles, she continues to work in roles like Disney's The Villains of Valley View. Today, she uses her platform to advocate for eating disorder recovery and health awareness, serving as a resilient figure of self-acceptance while retaining her signature comedic charm. Emilia Fox as Georgiana Darcy. Born on July 31, 1974 in London, Emilia Fox made her television debut at age 21 as the timid Georgiana Darcy in the BBC's iconic 1995 adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. Her portrayal of Mr. Darcy's loyal and accomplished sister provided a vital emotional anchor for the central romance between Elizabeth and Darcy. Fox's performance helped cement the miniseries as the definitive screen version of Jane Austen's classic, marking a prestigious start to her career. While Georgiana was famously shy, Fox is known in reality for her expressive and commanding personality. However, her path was not without difficulty. As a member of the Fox acting dynasty, she initially struggled to overcome accusations of nepotism and the pressure of family expectations. Alongside the fear of period-piece typecasting, she navigated deep personal hardships, including a public divorce from actor Jared Harris, and the immense grief of a miscarriage, all while maintaining a demanding professional life. Fox eventually transcended her early roles to become a staple of British television, most notably as forensic pathologist Dr. Nikki Alexander in Silent Witness. Joining the cast in 2004, she has become the show's longest-serving lead, complemented by roles in The Pianist and Merlin. In 2026, at age 51, she remains a celebrated figure in the UK entertainment industry. She continues to lead her hit crime drama and resides in London with her daughter, Rose. Anna Chancellor as Miss Bingley. Born on April 27, 1965 in Richmond, Surrey, the classically trained actress rose to international fame at the age of 30 as the snobbish and status-obsessed Miss Bingley Caroline Bingley in the landmark 1995 BBC miniseries Pride and Prejudice. Her portrayal of the scheming socialite defined by sharp, condescending delivery and her now iconic side eyes became the definitive depiction of upper-class prejudice for a generation of viewers. In a fascinating twist of fate, Chancellor is actually an 8-times great-niece of Jane Austen herself, a historical connection that added a unique layer of authenticity to her performance as one of British television's most memorable literary antagonists. In reality, Anna Chancellor is described by friends and colleagues as warm, bohemian, and grounded, the polar opposite of the cold and calculating Caroline Bingley. This stark contrast made her early professional journey surprisingly difficult. Following her roles as Bingley and Henrietta Duckface in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, she faced severe typecasting. For years, the industry pigeonholed her into upper-class bitch archetypes, forcing her to fight hard to prove her dramatic range and escape the emotionally frigid elitist roles that casting directors initially demanded of her. Chancellor eventually broke these constraints with a series of powerhouse performances, earning BAFTA and Olivier nominations for acclaimed projects such as The Hour, Spooks, and The Crown. In her personal life, she navigated the challenges of early single motherhood before marrying Reda Deba in 2010. Tragically, she suffered a profound personal loss when her daughter Poppy passed away from leukemia in late 2023. At 60, she remains a resilient and highly respected veteran of the British acting community. She continues to take on complex, diverse roles across stage and screen, celebrated for a career that has evolved far beyond the restrictive socialites that first made her a household name. Victoria Hamilton as Mrs. Forster. Born Victoria Sharp on April 5, 1971 in Wimbledon, London, the actress made a significant mark at age 24 in the BBC's 1995 adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. Her portrayal of Harriet Forster, the frivolous young wife who disastrously enables Lydia Bennet's scandalous elopement, perfectly captured the comedic and cautionary elements of Jane Austen's world. Her performance contributed to a landmark production that redefined period dramas for a generation and remains a massive cultural touchstone. In contrast to her flighty on-screen persona, Hamilton is a deeply disciplined intellectual actress, rooted in classical theater. Despite her talent, she initially struggled with intense typecasting, famously joking that she spent 7 consecutive years trapped in corsets. She has been candid about her professional hardships, revealing that she often faced long bouts of unemployment and insecurity, as casting directors frequently judged her by her period drama face rather than her immense dramatic depth. Hamilton eventually transcended these constraints to enjoy a highly diverse career on screen and stage. She married actor Mark Baisley in 2008, and the couple has 2 sons. She earned global recognition as the Queen Mother in the first 2 seasons of Netflix's The Crown, and starred in the acclaimed dramas Dr. Forster and Life. At 54 in 2026, she remains a powerful presence on British television in hits like Unforgotten and The Teacher, proving her versatility far beyond her early Austen roles. Julia Sawalha as Lydia Bennet. Born on September 9, 1968 in Wandsworth, London, the English actress first made her mark in the teen drama Press Gang and the comedy Absolutely Fabulous before stepping into the world of Jane Austen. At the age of 26, Sawalha's portrayal of the flirtatious, naive, and reckless youngest Bennet sister became a cultural touchstone in the universally acclaimed 1995 miniseries. Perfectly capturing Lydia's high animal spirits and unrepentant wildness, her performance anchored the pivotal scandal of the story, her elopement with Mr. Wickham, offering a brilliant, highly energetic depiction of youthful folly that remains one of the most memorable interpretations of the classic character. Despite the character's bombastic, vain, and unabashedly extroverted nature, Julia Sawalha is a versatile chameleon actress whose real personality is much more grounded and thoughtful. In stark contrast to Lydia's chaotic energy, Sawalha eventually ditched the bustling city for a quiet rural life in the West Country, finding peace in growing her own vegetables and practicing yoga. Her career has also been marked by the harsh, often unfair realities of the entertainment industry. A major professional sting occurred when she was controversially dropped from the 2023 Chicken Run sequel, Dawn of the Nugget. Despite voicing the lead character Ginger in the original 2000 hit, producers unceremoniously recast her in 2020, claiming her voice sounded too old. Sawalha fought the decision, even recording and submitting her own voice test to prove her pitch hadn't changed. But the studio moved forward without her, a disheartening experience that she publicly stated left her feeling plucked, stuffed, and roasted, and entirely powerless. Julia Sawalha continued to work steadily in television, starring as the wise postmistress Dorcas Lane in the beloved BBC costume drama Lark Rise to Candleford, and reprising her iconic comedy role as Saffron in the 2016 film Absolutely Fabulous the Movie. While she has had high-profile relationships over the years with co-stars like Dexter Fletcher and Alan Davies, she never married or had children, preferring to keep her private life out of the tabloid spotlight. In her later years, she has focused on personal growth, including taking open university courses and enjoying the tranquility of her Somerset home. As of 2026, at the age of 57, she remains a highly respected and beloved figure in British television, celebrated for her legacy of defining roles while also using her platform to support social and political causes, such as joining the Film Workers for Palestine pledge in 2025. Alison Steadman as Mrs. Bennet. Born on August 26, 1946 in Liverpool, Alison Steadman gained immense fame at age 49 for her portrayal of the shrill matchmaking Mrs. Bennet in the 1995 BBC Pride and Prejudice. Defined by fluttery nerves and impeccable comedic timing, her performance became a cultural touchstone and is widely considered the definitive depiction of Jane Austen's iconic matriarch. For decades, her unforgettable squeals have remained one of the most memorable comedic highlights in period drama history. In sharp contrast to her bombastic character, Steadman is a grounded, shy individual and an avid birdwatcher who avoided the glamorous showbiz circuit. Her career was occasionally hindered by typecasting into boisterous mother roles and the controversial early cancellation of her sitcom, The Whackers. Later in life, she also navigated a difficult struggle with severe stage fright and memory retention, which eventually led her to retire from theater acting entirely. Steadman's career continued to thrive in television, with beloved roles in Fat Friends Orphan Black and as Pam Shipman in the hit comedy Gavin and Stacey. Following her 2001 divorce from director Mike Leigh, she found lasting happiness with her partner actor Michael Elwyn. At 79 in 2026, she is a celebrated national treasure and wildlife advocate. Having recently published her memoir Out of Character, she now enjoys a quiet life in North London, focusing on the simple joy of birdwatching from her garden. Barbara Leigh-Hunt as Lady Catherine de Bourgh. Born on December 14, 1935 in Bath, England, the classically trained Barbara Leigh-Hunt was a star of the London stage before gaining global recognition in the BBC's 1995 Pride and Prejudice. At age 59, her portrayal of the domineering Lady Catherine de Bourgh became a cultural touchstone. With chilling delivery and withering stares, she perfectly captured Jane Austen's most formidable antagonist, creating an iconic performance that defined the character for a generation. In contrast to her imperious on-screen persona, Leigh-Hunt was known by peers as a humble, warm-hearted woman and a lifelong friend of Dame Judi Dench. However, her authoritative presence led to professional frustrations. She battled severe typecasting, frequently confined to roles as haughty aristocrats or rigid figures of authority. Despite a groundbreaking role in Alfred Hitchcock's 1972 thriller Frenzy, her mainstream cinema career never reached the same leading heights as her stage and television success. Following her final film appearance in 2004's Vanity Fair, Leigh-Hunt retired to a quiet life with her husband, actor Richard Pascoe, until his death in 2014. She passed away peacefully at age 88 on September 16, 2024, at her home in Warwickshire. Her death was widely mourned by the British acting community, which celebrated her remarkable 7-decade legacy and the indelible mark she left on stage and screen history. Benjamin Whitrow as Mr. Bennet. Born on February 17, 1937 in Oxford, England, Benjamin Whitrow built a venerable stage career before securing his most iconic television role. At age 58, his portrayal of the sardonic, long-suffering Mr. Bennet in the 1995 BBC Pride and Prejudice became a cultural touchstone. His nuanced performance perfectly captured the character's wry humor and quiet exasperation, earning him a prestigious BAFTA TV Award nomination and cementing his status as a television icon. In contrast to the cynical and responsibility-shirking Mr. Bennet, Whitrow was a deeply committed stage craftsman known for his quiet rationality and dedication. While his talent for playing mild-mannered patriarchs was undeniable, it led to professional hardships through heavy typecasting. Frequently relegated to supporting buffer roles or stuffy civil servants, he struggled to find leading roles that showcased his full dramatic range while navigating the inherent instability and dry spells of an aging character actor. Whitrow worked extensively in his later years, voicing Fowler in the animated hit Chicken Run and appearing in the 2017 film Darkest Hour. In his personal life, he shared a unique co-parenting relationship with actress Celia Imrie for their son Angus. Whitrow passed away at age 80 on September 28, 2017, due to a brain hemorrhage. His death occurred during the recording of the BBC Radio 4 play, Mr. Betjeman Regrets, requiring actor Robert Bathurst to complete his lines for its posthumous broadcast. Susannah Harker as Jane Bennet. Born on April 26, 1965 in London, Susannah Harker gained early recognition in House of Cards before securing her most iconic role. At age 29, her portrayal of the serene Jane Bennet in the BBC's 1995 Pride and Prejudice became a cultural touchstone during the height of Austen mania. Her delicate composure and warmth offered a definitive depiction of Regency beauty, establishing her as one of period television's most beloved figures for an entire generation of viewers. In reality, Harker is a fiercely independent woman contrasting sharply with Jane's quiet submission. This difference presented professional challenges as she faced heavy typecasting as the demure English Rose, making it difficult to secure grittier roles. As her career progressed, she navigated the industry's ageism and the struggle to find complex leading parts. Her personal life also lacked Jane's simple fairy tale ending, marked by a painful and highly publicized divorce from actor Ian Glenn in 2004. Harker continued to work steadily in theater and film, often choosing craft over Hollywood to raise her son Finley. She earned acclaim for stage roles like Abigail's Party and lent her voice to projects like Doctor Who and Sapphire and Steel. By 2026, at age 60, she has moved into writing and producing to champion authentic stories for women. She is currently developing a comedy drama titled Jane Bennet's Second Spring, a witty project that reimagines her iconic character navigating midlife. Crispin Bonham-Carter as Charles Bingley. Born on September 23, 1969 in Colchester, England, Crispin Bonham-Carter rose to fame at age 25 as the amiable Charles Bingley in the landmark 1995 BBC Pride and Prejudice. His portrayal of Mr. Darcy's good-natured best friend offered a joyful romance with Jane Bennet that perfectly balanced the series' central drama. This warm performance helped establish the adaptation as a definitive cultural touchstone and made his Bingley one of television's most beloved romantic figures. Despite Bingley's effortless confidence, Bonham-Carter struggled with deep self-doubt, later admitting he lacked the madness required for a lifelong acting career. Professionally, he faced the hardship of sustaining a consistent trajectory, often finding himself relegated to minor cameos despite his early success. The unpredictable nature of the industry and modest wages eventually became a significant burden for a father of four, leading him to abandon the acting profession after approximately 15 years. After leaving the industry, Bonham-Carter reinvented himself by retraining as a teacher in 2007. He spent a decade teaching English and classics before being appointed assistant head at Queen Elizabeth School in 2019. At 56 in 2026, he remains happily married to his wife, Catherine, and their 4 children. Though he made brief film appearances in Bridget Jones's Diary and Casino Royale, he has found his true fulfillment far from the red carpet as a dedicated educator and administrator. David Bamber as Mr. Collins. Born on September 19, 1954 in Walkden, England, David Bamber rose to fame at age 40 as the infamous Mr. Collins in the BBC's 1995 Pride and Prejudice. His portrayal of the obsequious, pompous clergyman became a massive cultural touchstone defined by brilliant comedic timing and a hilariously inept demeanor. This performance helped make the miniseries a global phenomenon and remains the definitive, universally recognized version of Jane Austen's most cringeworthy character. In reality, Bamber is a grounded and highly intelligent actor standing in sharp contrast to his sycophantic alter ego. This brilliance led to significant professional hurdles as he faced intense typecasting as a buffoon and described the industry as a difficult buyer's market. Despite starring in the 1990s sitcom Chalk, the show's mixed reception and cancellation highlighted his struggle to escape the overwhelming comedic shadow of Mr. Collins and find success in more varied leading roles. Bamber eventually proved his dramatic range, successfully dismantling typecasting with acclaimed roles as Marcus Tullius Cicero in HBO's Rome, Adolf Hitler in Valkyrie, and a part in Darkest Hour. He has been married to actress Julia Swift since 1982 and has 2 sons. At 71 in 2026, he remains a highly respected veteran of the British acting community, recently appearing in The Regime, and proving his legacy extends far beyond the unctuous clergyman who once served Lady Catherine de Bourgh. Lucy Robinson as Louisa Hurst. Born on September 7, 1966 in London, Lucy Robinson rose to prominence at age 28 as the haughty Louisa Hurst in the legendary 1995 BBC Pride and Prejudice. Her portrayal of the fashion-conscious and snobbish sister perfectly captured the satirical vanity of Jane Austen's wealthy elite. Her performance contributed to a global phenomenon that redefined period dramas, making her depiction of upper-class scheming a memorable part of this massive cultural touchstone. In contrast to the superficial, Louisa Robinson is known in reality as a grounded and hard-working woman. However, the success of the miniseries brought professional hardships, as she faced intense typecasting as stuffy aristocratic women, most notably as the insufferable Mrs. Elton in the 1996 adaptation of Emma. This narrow casting made it difficult to secure contemporary roles for a time, forcing her to fight against the rigid, corseted image that had defined her early career. Robinson eventually overcame these barriers to build a prolific career across British television, film, and theater. She married actor Nicholas Murchie in 1999 and has maintained a private life away from the tabloids. She successfully transitioned into modern television with roles in Cold Feet and Doctor Who, as well as films like The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. At 59 in 2026, she remains a highly respected figure in the acting community, continuing to work on both stage and screen with tireless dedication. As we close this chapter on the 1995 cast, we are reminded that beauty and talent only deepen with time. These actors gave us a definitive masterpiece that continues to offer solace and joy to millions. It's rare for a production to age as gracefully as its stars have. If you still find yourself revisiting the halls of Longbourn every year, give this video a like and subscribe to keep the nostalgia alive with us.